Before the Cowboys take on the 49ers, let's troll our 49ers Report hosts. I think by typing in FCS, you guys aren't going to get shadow banned or limited, or they're not going to delete the comments on YouTube, because FCS is the other college football level. So we should be fine. So spam FCS in the comments section of today's show. Whoever comments the most on today's video will get a free raffle entry for Sunday's watch party. So flood the comments section right now. Let's talk Week 8, Sunday Night Football. This line, as of filming, again, we're filming on Thursday, so the line might move a little bit. The injury news might change a little bit. The Niners are a 4-point favorite. Before Sunday's game, they were a 7-point favorite. Then it was 5.5. Now it's down to 4. So the bookmakers are giving you hope. I'm not sure I'm buying that hope, though. Some Cowboys injuries to watch. I will call it from that perspective. Don't worry about Brandon Aubrey. Jury duty there's no jury duty on Sunday. He will play. It's just a weird Cowboys story there. Kalen Carson has practiced for several weeks in a row, but was also a scratch still, so we'll see about him. Ryan, I also realized it's not Flournoy. The R is silent in his name. It's Ryan Flournoy or something like that, which I'm blown away by, so I apologize, Ryan, for saying it wrong previously. I think he'll be fine. Nick Vigil should be fine. Obviously, John Stevens is not going to be able to go. He tore his ACL. Eric Kendricks, I think, is trending in the right direction. Micah Parsons, DaRon Bland, I'm not feeling nearly as good about as I was earlier in the week. This will go out Sunday morning, by the way, so we'll know if they're going to play or not. But possible freezing cold take, I don't feel good about that at this moment. The Niners are also a bit banged up. The three that stand out here, look, Kevin Givens is banged up. He's a good run stopper. We'll see if he can go or not. He didn't practice on Wednesday. George Kittle's got the foot injury. Jawan Jennings has the hip. Deebo Samuel is out of the hospital from his pneumonia, thank goodness. Those guys are all uncertain. And if they can't go with Brandon Ayuk also out, it's a banged-up Niners receiving core that would make life. All of a sudden they go from, this is the best playmaking group in football, to Ronnie Bell is playing huge snaps for you, and that's not where they want to be at all. So monitor those injury reports coming into Sunday's game. I think we'll know if those guys are going to be able to go or not. Let's talk some matchups to watch in this one. First up for me is the Cowboys' ability to tackle against the 49ers playmakers. Now, again, injury news. We'll see who plays, who does not play. This is a different 49ers team. The last 5 years in a row, 6 years in a row, actually, they had led the NFL in yards after the catch. This year, they're 31st at 4.4. You're better than they are, in part because of CeeDee Lamb. But still, they're not doing a lot of stuff after the catch. The problem is you're the worst defense in stopping after the catch because you can't tackle for crap. You're allowing 7.2 yards after the catch on average. It's really bad. Look, this is not the same 49ers team. They don't run the ball the same way. They haven't had the same explosive offense. They've been more banged up than usual. This is a gettable Niners team. I just don't know if you're the team that can get them, because I very much am afraid of this is the get-right game for San Francisco. They run the ball right down your throat. We talked about that earlier in the week. This is still a good ground game against a Cowboys team that cannot stop the run. So I want honest answers here. What is your confidence level in beating the 49ers? Scale it for me from 1 to 10, 1 the low end, 10 the high end. Go vote in the comments section of today's show. Let's talk matchups to watch. Number 2. This is both red zone offenses. It's not really a matchup, but it is a comparable issue that both teams have been facing so far this campaign. We made a big deal about the red zone issues last year. They're even worse this year. The Cowboys are averaging about 2.7 red zone trips per game. It's not very good. Tied for 22nd. But they are 31st in red zone scoring touchdown percentage. They're dead last in EPA per play. They get in the red zone, and they're losing points on average. Now, sometimes because you're not finishing drives off, and you don't get the 7, you only get the 3, which has way too many turnovers in there. You're averaging under 2 yards per play in the red zone. That is horrible. You're throwing it a ton. you're not really passing it well in the red zone, but you also can't run the ball in the red zone, and you're getting a lot of pressures in your face. Everything is bad about that red zone right now for the Dallas Cowboys. It's also bad in San Francisco. Now, they're getting there a lot. They're second in red zone trips this year, 4.4 per game. They're 27th in red zone touchdown percentage. They're 22nd in EPA per play. They run it a little bit more, but they're not running the ball that great. They're allowing pressures. There are some similarities there. The team that finishes off their red zone drives is going to have the advantage in this one. Number 3 matchup to watch. This is the Cowboys man coverage against Brock Purdy. Or maybe it is really more Brock Purdy versus man coverage is the better versus combination there. Here are the stats from my boy Chase Sr. Among qualifying quarterbacks, this is how bad it is. There's 33 who qualify. Brock Purdy is splitting 41% of his completion passes against man coverage. He's been bad against man. The passer rating is 32nd. Against zone, he's 6th and 1st. The answer right now, at least this year, how to stop Brock Purdy is to play man, in particular press man coverage. Now, part of this is the injuries this offense has suffered. The skill playmakers are not as good as they've been in years past, and that really shows up in man. So the numbers don't lie. You got to play man coverage against Brock Purdy. You can do some more blitzing if you do that as well, but it'll help generate some pressure. Now, this absolutely creates the risk for more big plays. If you're playing a bunch of man and one guy gets beat, you might not have the other guy to help you out in the zone or the nearby zone even. But against the 49ers, I think you actually need and want that variance. It was true last year. The Ravens generated a bunch of big plays on defense, and they beat the 49ers and they're at their height. You have to generate some explosive plays, and playing man coverage can help you do that, or at least limit the Niners' own big plays. So there's risk involved doing that, but that's where I would go. So pick a QB, B for Brock Purdy or D for Dak Prescott. Who do you think is better right now? Not long term, not last year, right now. B for Brock, D for Dak. Number 4, it is the Cowboys defense against motion. And there's been some good articles about how motion is a bit more even this year. Motion at the snap matters more. That is how you stress a defense. The Niners do a good job of that. But overall motion, so even just that back and forth, check if it's zone or man stuff that everyone does these days. Nobody runs more motion in the NFL than the 49ers. Nobody gets more yards per game on motion plays than the 49ers. They are 3rd in yards per play with motion, 6.3. They are 8th in EPA per play, 1st in passing yards, 2nd in rushing yards. If they run motion, there is zero tell if it is a run or a pass play. It is almost dead even. The Shanahan motion stuff works really, really well. You suck at stopping motion plays. It has been this way for as long as I can remember. It has plagued the Dallas Cowboys. They haven't faced that much of it. Only 26 total plays of motion. They are allowing the second most yards per game at 260.2. They are dead last in yards per play allowed. If you took the Cowboys defense, the team that runs motion against them is the best offense in football every play. It's really frustrating. They are dead last in EPA per play. They are near the bottom in passing yards per game and rushing yards per game. They can't do it. They struggle with the eyes. They take the cheese. They don't follow their everything at all properly. They are just bad at it. They had the entire bye to prep. They know the motion is coming. Can they stop it? I don't know. Now, the last time we told you guys about the Cowboys turnover chain, the Cowboys forced a turnover. They haven't done one since. So let's do it again. Go to chatsports.com/Cowboys chain. That link will be in the comments section and the description of today's show. It is from Fanatics. It's oftentimes on sale, by the way. Get yours today. Chatsports.com/Cowboys chain. The one matchup that I like in your favor is on special teams. And by the way, it is a sizable advantage that you have. Bones Fossil does a fantastic job. In fact, special teams DVOA, in part because of your alien kicker, you've had some nice returns this year. Cowboys are number 1 in the the advanced metric to help identify special teams. DVOA, they're number 1. The Niners, 31st. If you win this game, it's probably because there were a couple of big special teams plays that help flip it in your advantage. A return, a block, a long field goal, a missed field goal. Something along those lines probably flips it into your advantage. Now, we will be live for the Cowboys versus 49ers matchup. Kickoff is 8:20 p.m. Eastern. We'll be live at 6:45 p.m. Eastern time. So don't miss out. Hit that sub button and make sure you guys tune in. Let's talk players to watch. Number 5, Tyler Guyton. I think you will see a lot of Nick Bosa against Guyton. Nick Bosa, at almost a 50-50 split, has played both left end and right end over the right tackle, over the left tackle. Guyton was not on the injury report going into this week, so it sounds like he's going to be fine and nothing to be too concerned about on that front. He has not been good enough, though, this year. Now, he's a raw tackle. He needs time. There's going to be ups and downs. There'll probably be more downs than ups in this games. So I actually have an extremely simple request for the Dallas Cowboys. Knowing that Nick Bosa moves around a lot, that he plays over the left tackle and over the right tackle, please help against him. Please chip. You know, you got Aiden Hutchinson, and you didn't chip against him. Like, you chipped twice all game, one-on-one against Terrence Steele. That's just stupid. Doesn't make any sense to me. Your O-line is not playing great right now. Help them out. So with that in mind, do you trust the Cowboys' offensive line? Y for yes, N for no. Let me know in the comments section of today's show. Number 4, Maurice Leafau, the linebacker. Got Eric Kendricks, should be healthy in theory. We'll see how the injury report goes this week. DeMarvion Overshown, back out there. But I expect to see a lot of Maurice Leafau in this game. And he's played a little bit this year. I've seen some good stuff, sometimes not so good stuff. He's a third-round rookie linebacker. He's kind of played like that. The 49ers use the most 21 personnel in the NFL at a 33.5% rate. They are heavy personnel package teams. They don't do a lot of 11. They use Kyle Juszczyk a lot because he's a fun player. So the Cowboys, I assume, are going to counter that with 3 linebackers. They will be in their base personnel a lot. That is the worst unit for the Dallas Cowboys. No team has allowed more yards per game in their base packages than the Dallas Cowboys. 164.3. It's not a heavily used package these days, but it's a bad package. They got to find a way to be better against the Niners. If I'm San Francisco, it's tight end, it's Juszczyk, it's Jordan Mason, and I'm running the ball down the Cowboys' throats until they stop me, because I don't know if they can stop me. Number 3, Jake Ferguson, the tight end. Been a bit of a slow start so far this year for Fergie. He hasn't made guys miss the way he used to. He added some more weight this year that maybe wasn't the best idea to hold up better as a blocker. He has looked explosive. I think the knee injury he suffered in week 1 has also been a factor there. I don't love his matchup when it's Fred Warner. Fred Warner is a special football player. I love watching him. He's my favorite linebacker to watch in the game right now. I worry about that one. But somebody has to show up in the receiving corps at tight end. The safety room is not great in San Francisco. Maybe Fergie can get going in this one. Prediction time. Who scores the first touchdown for the Dallas Cowboys? Let me know in the comments of today's show. Number 2, DeMarvion Overshown. We mentioned the base personnel usage. The Niners love to run wide zone. They run those outside runs at a high rate relative to the NFL. The Cowboys face a lot of those runs. You need Overshown to be on his game. He has to read his keys right. He has to not fall for the fake motion stuff. He has to get to the edge. He has to make tackles. I've seen mostly good stuff this year from DeMarvion Overshown for what really is a first year for Demo. But this is a tough matchup for him. This is a matchup Shanahan's going to go, okay, let's get these guys out of position. They'll do play action, and they'll get the tight ends behind them. I need a big game from DeMarvion Overshown. But number 1, look, it's Dak Prescott. And all the negative things you can say about Dak Prescott, they're mostly true, if not all true, specifically when it comes to playing the 49ers. He has not played well the last 3 times he's gone up against them. He's been bad. There are plenty of players who have been bad over the course of those games, and they all impact each other. That's all accurate. I need more from Dak in this game. My defense is banged up. My offense cannot run the football. My O-line is shaky. It's not maybe fair, but I need Dak to put on the cape. He's played really well after bye weeks and really well in primetime. In fact, he's 9-1 in his last 10 primetime games. Actually, abnormally high. He's only with Hall of Famers of who's been good in primetime. Mostly because only the good quarterbacks play in primetime, but I digress. It's like 4 guys have won more games than him. That's it. I need Dak to show up. Because if he plays bad, or even if he plays averagely, I don't have enough talent. I don't have the coaching staff to help everything else out. I need my quarterback to play out of his mind this week. He hasn't done that in a very long time against San Francisco in particular.